Hey guys, Samantha here. I'm here with one of my incredible friends, Vanessa. She's also one of our national educators on our Aqua team.
Hi.
I'm so excited for us to deep dive into this webinar. I invited Vanessa on because she's a salon owner, business owner, hairstylist. She's built an incredible extension business for herself, as well as really helped her team do that as well. So I'm really excited for this specific topic on the business of extensions. So we're going to dive into everything from setting up yourself for success, goal setting on what you want out of your extension business, how to price accordingly, how to do a thorough consultation in your business, all the way through how to have a very detailed maintenance conversation. So let's get into it. So the first topic on our Elevated Extensionist business guide is goal setting. Now, I'm a firm believer you have to have a roadmap to get to where you want to go, right?
Absolutely.
Vanessa and I, we work in different settings, right? So let them know what your salon's like.
So my salon is like a hybrid salon. We have stylists, but then I also have a suite side. So it's kind of a hybrid of, salon, and there are renting chairs, and then I have our suites, which they're also renting. So we have absolutely no commission. So that's how Sam and I kind of are different in that way, which is
Absolutely.
Nice. Yeah.
Which, if you don't know me, I do have a commission salon. So I have 20 stylists in my salon, all employee based. And, we do hair, skin, and nails, a little bit of everything. So definitely set up a little differently. I know you have stylists in your salon that offer extensions.
Yes.
And I do as well. And I'm a firm believer of, it's a new year, right? We just had a new year. Really setting yourself up for success as to what do you want your business to look like? If you want your business to be mostly extensions, how are we going to get there?
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
If you want your business to be mostly hair cutting and coloring, how are we going to get there? I always say, do you want to work long days or short days? Do you want to work more days or less days? That really has to go into that.
It really does. And I think setting those goals are really key and important, especially if you're trying to build your extension clientele. Figuring out how many days you want to be behind the chair, what your lifestyle is like. If you're a mommy or if you're single, that has a lot to do with it as well. I know some of our mommies in the salon, they work 3 days, but they're long days. So it's really just setting that up, and then you can figure out from there, okay, how many extension clients do I need to get to meet those goals? So setting out that plan is very important to get your goals and elevate your extension clientele.
Absolutely. And I always say, figure out the why behind the what. If you truly don't know what's driving you to the end goal, how are we going to get there? And yes, we all want to make more money, right? I say you wouldn't be watching this if you did not want to make more money, right? We all do it.
Yes.
And I know money is like a scary topic in the salon, but I'm all about get the paper, make the money. Right?
But you have to have a game plan. Because if you're just out there and I want more money, it's not going to come to you. No. You have to make a plan.
Absolutely. And why do you want more money? Right? What are you going to do with it? Do you want to make more money to build a better lifestyle for your children? Do you want more money to buy a house?
Or your dog.
Or your dog.
That's
me, my dog. Do you want more money because your goal is to buy a new car, right? What is your end goal? And not everyone's driven by money, and I've learned that.
Yeah.
But if truly that's what you want, what you're going to do with it, I think sometimes we get in a rut, and I'm sure you've been here.
Yes.
You've been in the industry for a long time, like I have. We get in this rut of we're working, grinding day to day, and we don't really know.
Routine.
Yes.
It's just routine. And then you're like, what am I doing?
What am I doing? What am I even working for? So really honing in on, like Vanessa said, your overall goals. Do you want to build a bigger extension business? What do you want that to look like? How many days a week do you want to work? How many hours per day? And then we can really work backwards and determine how many new extension clients you need to get there.
And it doesn't have to be overwhelming. You could do like a 3-month goal, a 6-month, a year, and just write all that down. And that's what I've done. And honestly, I feel like it really worked. It really got me to where I wanted to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So our next topic is consistency. And I'm a firm believer, consistent habits make success. So this can be a two-parter, right? Consistency in your daily routine, consistency in your work behind the chair. Showing up for your client every single day with what you're wearing.
Looking good. We sell beauty.
Absolutely.
We gotta look our best.
And extensions are a luxury service. Your client is willing to pay for it if they feel the value. And it's different showing up for every few clients here and there, but then showing up consistent looking the best, feeling the best, delivering the same quality of work
Yes.
with every single client.
Yeah, and we have off days sometimes. You know, we want to wear those leggings, which is great, but spice it up. Do your hair, put on some good lipstick. You know, you always want to look good, even when you're feeling a little off.
I'm a firm believer, and I know your clients feel this as well. I already said it, extensions are a luxury service. If you are doing haircuts all day at a lower price point, you may be able to get away with more than what you can get away with selling extensions, right? I mean, it's the facts. It's nothing. There's nothing we can do about it. So if you are charging an average ticket of $200, $300, $400, $500,
you got to look that price.
You have to look the price. Your clients are not going to be willing to spend the money with you if you don't look the part. So, you know, consistency in your work, making sure that every client gets the same quality of work, gets the same overall experience with you. There's a flip side of it, right? Not just in your work, consistency in the brand you're choosing to partner with. Like I said, it's different to have one good batch of hair and the hair is great, and then the next one not be so great, right? What I love with Aqua is the consistency of quality is there. You know exactly what you're getting every single time.
Yes.
Hair color is exactly the same, quality is exactly the same.
And custom. My guests love the fact that they're all completely different. They all have different systems. They're completely customizable. It's not just everyone's getting this same weft.
Okay, next we're going to dive into consultation. So I 100% believe this is the most important part of the entire process. If you don't have a really good, thorough consultation, the entire ship will sink. So we've put together at Aqua a really awesome consultation form. We have it displayed here on the screen. The consultation form, I think, is a really thorough, in-depth questionnaire that your clients can fill out. This way you don't have to ask all those questions and then maybe forget some. So tell me how you do your consultations.
So I keep it old school. I do have like a binder. I do have the Aqua consultation form printed out. So I greet my guest, I have them come in, we have it on a clipboard. They kind of fill everything out, check it off, and it helps with those. Yeah, you don't want to be like, hey, so are you a new mommy? And they're like, no, I'm not. You know, that way you don't have to ask that question. You just go through the questions. So have them sit down, we'll grab them a drink, they fill that out. Then I bring them back to my chair and we go over the questions that are on there. And that really helps too with like red flags of guests that maybe aren't a candidate for extensions. You know, maybe they're the wash and go and you know that it's just not going to be ideal for them. So that right there gets all the red flags out, which I love. Also, what's really cool about it is the fact that it is a luxury service. They feel like they're really taken care of, that they're understanding, they're getting all the questions out that they would have. You know, you don't want to be answering those questions when you're doing an install, you know. I am so key to using that consultation form. It shocks me how many stylists I meet that don't use them. And it really helps build my clientele. And again, when you see those guests that maybe come, you know, once or twice a year to do a full install, and you don't hear from them, and then they text you and say, hey Vanessa, I want to put my extensions back in, same colors, and you're like, wait, what did we do?
What colors
you know,
did we do?
yes, so I just revert back to that consultation form. So I love it. I think it's key. It's a great tool to have in your salon, whether it's like me, old school paper form, or even a digital copy that they can fill out before they arrive.
Absolutely. So I love that you can create this as a digital copy, right? You can send this to your guests before they come in and have them fill it out, just like a medical form would be before you go to the doctor's office. You saw on the screen there are quite a few questions on the consultation form. They cover everything from overall lifestyle to medical questions to maintenance questions, right? To have they ever wore extensions before. They're all super important, and I truly think the lifestyle aspect of it is what's going to make or break whether you're setting that client up for success. Like you said, if they're a wash and go client, they're not the best candidate for extensions. You have to blow dry.
Yes.
And if they're not willing to blow dry.
And speaking on lifestyle, that's where you determine what system is going to be best for them too. If they're, you know, a hot yoga instructor, you're not going to go and put tape-ins in, you know, and it just hits all those key factors, which I think is great.
Yeah. And the last thing that I always make sure I do, like you kind of touched on it during the consultation, is thoroughly go over what the maintenance is like, right? Set them up for success, set yourself up for success. If you don't tell your client, again, you need to blow dry your hair, what if they don't even own a blow dryer? You're doing the install, right? You're going through the maintenance of this is how you maintain your hair at home. And they're like, wait, I have to blow dry my hair?
Like I go to sleep with wet hair.
What? I don't own a blow dryer. You're like, okay, I really failed you here. Go over all of that during the consultation. And then the biggest key to wrap it all up is go over what it's going to cost. Yes. Go over the initial cost of what that initial appointment's going to be, and then the maintenance. How much is it going to cost, and how often do they need to come back in to see you?
I also like to send them home with our maintenance card. And also we have like a digital copy, so I even text it to them because there's like no excuses across the board. They physically have it with them, and it's text to them. So.
Smart. Okay, Vanessa, next topic is pricing. As I mentioned earlier, I love to talk about money, right? In our industry, I think stylists are just, one, too afraid to charge their worth, right? And price accordingly. But then two, have no idea where to begin. No idea what to charge. And the biggest thing that I hear all the time, and I know, Vanessa, we just had this conversation recently, was every time we teach a class, every stylist in the entire audience says, what do you charge? How much do you charge? I want to charge what you charge. And there's so many factors that go into what to charge. Now, Vanessa lives in Orange County, California. I live south of Akron, Ohio. Yeah, you're probably looking at me like, Ohio, yes.
But she looks like an LA girly.
I belong in LA. No, so totally different demographics, two completely different areas, right? Yes, we've been doing hair around the same time. I would say we are of equal talent. However, Vanessa is not charging what I'm charging, and I'm not charging what Vanessa is charging, solely based upon our demographic, okay? So do your research, really determine, yes, what stylists are charging in your area, but that does not have to mean you charge what they charge.
Yes.
Okay. Demographic goes into it. Your experience comes into play, but then also ensuring that you are charging accordingly to make a profit, right? Again, we just discussed, Vanessa has a very large independent salon, okay? Salon, style, and suites, and then I have a commission salon. Our overheads are two totally different things. Our profit centers per station need to bring in two totally different amounts, right? So what works for my business and my pricing definitely isn't the same as hers, right? I'm coming up with a pricing structure for an entire 20-person team. You're coming up with a pricing structure for yourself. So I always say, and if you've taken a class with me, you'll hear me say it 100 times, if I was an independent stylist, right, just me, solely in my salon, maybe I have renters, right, but just me, I'm pricing for just me, I may price differently. But and if you're watching this as a salon owner, I get it. We have to develop a pricing structure for an entire salon. So where do I even begin? How do I price my services accordingly? What I do want to display here on the screen are some really awesome formulas to come up with your pricing. Okay, and we will link these, but I want you to see some really awesome pricing structures, and then we're going to dive a little deeper into how to develop those. So whenever you come up with your pricing and you teach stylists to do that, what are some factors that need to be thought about when it comes into pricing?
Factors definitely be like the area that we're in, whether, it's high, middle, low. And I always give them an option, like where to start at. If you're just getting clientele in, you're gonna wanna start more at the lower end and work your way up until you get that experience and that knowledge behind you. So I definitely would say location and experience have a lot to do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to our pricing structure, I always recommend a charge based upon the look instead of having your guest buy hair and then pay you to apply the hair. We are not in the industry to sell hair. It's not a thing, right? Yeah. We are in the industry to provide a service. Aqua Hair Extensions sells hair to us. We don't sell hair to our client. I cannot stress enough, hair extensions are needed to provide that service, just like hair color is needed to provide a color service, right? Yeah. So with that, I want to say there's no right or wrong, okay? I'm not here to get on you if you're selling hair and then providing, charging for the service, but from experience, from both of us in thousands of stylists we've taught at this point, the stylists that are the most successful with this charge based upon the look.
And I will say, when I started with Aqua, that was the game changer for me. Like, what was I doing all these years? I was losing out on money. Now I have like a full hair collection, making more on my installs by just simply following that. Yeah,
absolutely. So you'll see, based upon our pricing guides and our pricing formulas, we recommend to always figure out the cost of your hair, okay? So whether you're doing one row of 18-inch Q-weft, right, one pack, figure out what that end cost is. When you figure out your hair cost, make sure you include tax and shipping, as well as bundling in your essentials kit. I cannot stress enough, your client needs that take-home product with them to maintain their hair at home. If you include it into the cost of your product, you know they're going to use it, and you know that you are setting them up for success. Okay, so when I say cost of goods, cost of hair, in that formula, that's the actual hard hair cost, tax and shipping, as well as the essentials kit.
And the essentials kit is so key. It's a lifesaver when they come back for that touch-up, but their hair is still in good condition. So it's really helping you out as well.
Absolutely. Once you figure out your hard cost, then we are going to upcharge, whether you upcharge 30%, 40%, and 50%, or double the cost of all of that, that is totally up to you. So industry standard starts at 30% and then goes up from there. So once you determine you're upcharging the hair, that can be your end price. You can totally stop there. Depending on your demographic, that can be it. Or from there, you can add in a service fee. So what are some ways you can come up with a service fee?
So like an install fee. I like to separate my costs. So I'll do my cost of the hair with a 30% markup and the essentials kit with tax. And then when they come back, I charge them their install fee. And I already know in my mind, how many rows I'm gonna do, determining the look, because then we're going back to the consultation and you don't even have to worry about all of that. They're literally just coming in, excited, you already have your hair ready and you know what you're doing.
Absolutely. So when we're talking to stylists and they're like, what do I charge for my install fee? How do I figure that out? Some examples I know we'll use would be taking what your hourly rate is, right? Figuring out what you charge per hour, how long is it going to take you, and then determining your service fee from there. Some other examples to just develop your service fee would maybe be doubling or tripling your haircut price.
Yes.
Right? And that could be your service fee. So really determining what you need to make to provide that service, adding that on to the upcharged cost of your hair. I cannot stress enough, charging what you need to, as well as having a preset sheet ready to rock and roll when your clients come in for the consultation. Now, when your clients come in, do you have a cheat sheet ready to go? And you say, okay, this is how many rows, this is the length, this is what you're charging.
I do. I actually keep that in my phone and I have a price sheet of what I'm paying, and then I have the price sheet of what I'm actually charging my client, and then I have a sheet of per row. So yes, I do have a cheat sheet and it's always in my phone.
So I'd highly recommend for you to create your own cheat sheet in the salon. Again, we're going to display this on the screen here so you can see what I mean by a chart that has your length as well as how many rows or how many packs you're applying. Do the math and the formulas for this ahead of time so when your client comes in, you already are ready to rock and roll. This way you're not fumbling,
stressed,
undercharging, overcharging, trying to do the math and figure that out.
Stress undercharging is huge. I feel like so many stylists do that, and it's because they're not prepared.
Absolutely. Okay, so the last topic we're going to discuss is branding and just really marketing yourself. And I know social media, it's a love-hate, we all get it, but it's truly the best way to get yourself out there. So what are some ideas you can really give us on branding?
So branding, I would say stay cohesive with your profile. Really limit your background, posting, staying consistent posting. That's all really huge in your branding, because when people see that, that's basically your portfolio. So whatever you want to create or mimic, stay true to that. So I would say make sure, when you're taking your hair photos, that it's focused on the hair. It's not a cluttery background, or you don't see like a Diet Coke in the back or their Starbucks drink. Really branding to what you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Another idea would be doing a branding shoot, right? And it's something that you do and I do as well in my salon, doing a branding shoot. And this doesn't always necessarily mean paying an expensive photographer. No. While yes, that's incredible, it may be just starting off with an iPhone, getting somebody to capture some photos of you.
You can get a little tripod, set it up, and every few months, because everything's always changing. I know I look back, we did a photo shoot last year and I'm like, oh my God, it's so dated. Yes. It was barely like 11 months ago. So definitely staying relevant and keeping up, with your branding, your photo shoots, keeping up with the new.
Yeah, keeping up with trending reels, trending sounds, what's happening on TikTok, what's happening on Instagram. I know, and I get it, guys, I get it. Instagram, TikTok, social media is hard. We're not here to say it's easy.
We're not just hairstylists anymore. We're directors, we're actors.
But I'm a firm believer, and I mean, we've seen it firsthand. It is the best way to truly get yourself out there and let everyone know that I just started doing extensions. I'm ready to tackle this. And then beyond social media, we all live in a community with other people. Network in your immediate community, other businesses, other small business, other people who are also selling something and have a brand similar to yours. Boutiques, coffee shops,
local restaurants. Give them your cards, like take it back old school, just handing them a card like, hey, I work up the street.
Absolutely. Do a giveaway with a local business. That's a great way to market yourself. Yes. I recently in my salon, we kind of, like you said about old school, we went back old school a little bit. We did this, I believe, for Valentine's Day. So what I did was everyone had 100 business cards that had a deal on it. And everybody's deal was a little different depending on where they're at in their business. And we put together little gifts and they had to give them out to 100 people. And again, we're a full service salon, so some gifts were little, maybe mini nail polishes, other were makeup related, other were hair related, and they had to go around and give 100 of these out throughout the community. It drew in so many people into our business, right? Things are changing, times are changing. Social media is not the end all be all, although you have to use it. Think of some creative ideas where you can
We went to our local farmers market and we set up like our first year, just kind of like tent and hey, we're new in the area, and we got a lot of business from it. So it's like, think outside the box. If social media isn't for you, I know it's not for a lot of people, you know, posting videos, not great with the phones. There's so many other things that you can do to brand yourself.
Absolutely. So we totally understand operating an extension business is not for the faint of heart. It absolutely takes time to grow and build, but if you truly work hard at it, you can definitely get there. Please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'll link our Instagrams here and we would love to answer any of your questions.